Hey guys, I want to do a review here on a movie that I've never seen before. Just watched it last night for the first time, and it's called Sunset Boulevard. I think probably most of you have heard of it. If you're a movie fan, certainly you're aware of it. I was well aware of it, and it stars Gloria Swanson as Nora Desmond, and William Holden stars in it as well, and then Eric von Stroheim as Max, the butler. Interesting thing about Eric von Stroheim is that he was a silent movie director who directed what some people say is the greatest single motion picture in the history of motion pictures, and other people say it's not, called Greed, which was a 9-hour plus movie, which was much like some of Orson Welles' films, was cut down by the theater. Eventually, much of it was thrown away by a janitor, believe it or not, at Paramount. And what's left is 2.5 hours of movie, which is still considered to be a great movie. So, pardon my cold, I'm really suffering tonight, but I'm still doing this review. So the story of Sunset Boulevard involves William Holden as a kind of out-of-luck writer in Hollywood who is wanted. Well, not really wanted. He's sort of wanted in that there's people who want him because he owes them money, primarily the company that he bought his car from. And so his car is being repossessed. He's trying to get away. He ends up kind of pulling into what he thinks is a deserted old Hollywood mansion, perhaps deserted years earlier by its inhabitants, only to find out that it's inhabited, all right, by Nora Desmond. Former silent film star, now a recluse, hasn't really been in the public eye for years, hasn't made a motion picture worth anything in a lot of years, and she's kind of holed up in this rundown on the outside, not so rundown on the inside mansion on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. So let me just slide the disc out here, if I can. Always fun to do with one hand. I'm going to take a look at the menu here on my Blu-ray player for a second. All right. So here's the bigger picture. Same picture, but only a little bigger. So anyway, Gloria Swanson is, in my mind, superb as Nora Desmond. First of all, Gloria Swanson was not the first choice. Mae West was up for it, or they wanted Mae West. She wouldn't do it. And I think it was Mary Pickford, who was considered the darling of the silent movie era. She didn't want to do it because it in essence was saying, here's a washed up film star. Now, granted, it was a role, but it was hitting close to home because these people, these actresses that they were approaching, were in many cases, not all the cases, but in many cases, they themselves were silent film stars who had kind of lost favor in the last 10 or 20 years and were no longer the stars they once were back in the 20s. So Gloria Swanson, big star in the 20s, not so much when this movie was made, which was in 1950 something, 1950. Not a big star there. Her career was 20 years behind her, and she had attempted to do a couple things, but Sunset Boulevard was really the one that kind of brought her back into favor. And she is just amazing in this role. She's clearly self-absorbed and self-possessed, and she feels like, the Paramount. There wouldn't be no Paramount without her. There would be no movies pretty much without her. It seems at times. She just thinks she's that good. In fact, one of the lines, which is extremely famous, and I would have loved to see this in a theater. Somebody said something about. She's no longer a star. She's smaller now or something. And the quote is something like, "I didn't get smaller. The movies got smaller." Which is, I thought, an interesting quote. She really is just that absorbed. So she lives by herself. The butler Max, again played by Eric von Stroheim, is just excellent. He's this bald, stocky dude who just is like a bulldog guarding her, yes, madam, no, madam. Really You know, it turns out even in the movie, he's a former silent movie director in the movie, along with being one in real life, and she's a former silent movie star now, no longer in real life and in the movie. So interesting stuff. William Holden, not a writer, but William Holden hadn't done a real hit movie in years. He was known for Kid something. Anyway, he hadn't done a movie. He hadn't been a star in a number of years, so he was an interesting choice for this, but he's great. And the way this movie kind of plays out is William Holden's kind of the narrator. And it starts out that there's a dead body in a pool. And William Holden says, let me explain what happened. Let me go back 6 months and show you kind of, what happened here. How this poor slob got into the pool and drowned here and got killed. And let's set it all up for you. So William Holden, the out-of-work, poor writer, meets up with Nora Desmond. He's mistaken for somebody else at first, but he now gets an opportunity to read a script she wrote, which is going to bring her back to her former glory. Going to bring her back to be working with Cecil B. DeMille, just like in the old days. And just the claustrophobia of this mansion, this huge mansion, yet it feels like a prison. And he's trapped there, and yet he's there of his own free will. He's trapped by the trappings of richness, by the chance to work with and be around somebody of that fame, I guess, though he clearly sees she's not going anywhere. Maybe he feels like he needs to take care of her. Maybe part of him loves part of her in kind of a twisted sort of way. There's a lot of levels to this movie. I didn't expect a lot. A lot of people love this movie. Like I said, I've never seen it. I wasn't sure what to expect, but this movie grabbed me from the very beginning. The narration, the voiceover was excellent. The acting by everybody in this movie was phenomenal. Cecil B. DeMille is in it, and he's a good actor. It's a movie about movies. It's a movie about Hollywood. It's the movie about Hollywood. It's probably the movie about the movies. I can't say I've ever seen a better one. I doubt I ever will. It's that good. It's in black and white, as you would expect. Don't be thrown by this cover, though. That looks pretty nice. But this is what you'll see. Just a beautifully shot and beautifully directed movie. This movie was written by Billy Wilder. The guy's a genius. The extras on this thing are plentiful. Everything down there, it's 2 discs. Everything at the bottom there is on the second disc. This is out now on Blu-ray. Just came out. I think all the extras are intact. And it's supposed to look stunning. It looks good to me on DVD. But there are a few times when, especially in the darker scenes, where it was distracting a little bit because of some of the almost looked like shadows on the wall that were moving, or I don't know, I can't explain it exactly, but it was certainly a muddied look. But I loved it anyway. I'll probably get the Blu-ray eventually, but I just watched it, so I probably won't run out and get it, but it is something I'd like to have in my collection. It's that good. Don't really like the packaging so much on the Blu-ray, although it's true to the poster that was out at the time. I do like this packaging, though. It just seems to, her descending the staircase, that her hands placed as they are there to kind of, set up her face is typical of Nora Desmond, and maybe a little typical of Gloria Swanson. And just as a little bit of an aside, Gloria Swanson, Google her and put her in on YouTube, man. When she was like in her 70s, she was kind of cute. I don't mean necessarily cute like in appearance, although maybe a little for somebody of that age. But she just acted cute. I mean, she acted like she was 20 when she was 75. Hard to explain it. Google it or put it on YouTube and put a couple videos on when she was interviewed by Dick Cavett or any of the other number of folks. And she has kind of a coquettishness about her at 80. It's odd. She seems older in this movie at 50 than she did when she was 80. And I know they try to make her look older. And some of the extras, they say that they purposely had bad lighting on her and so on to make her look as if she was a fading film star as opposed to someone who was a little glamorous. Although some of the glamour shone through in this. Anyway, Sunset Boulevard, I can't recommend it highly enough. I could see where it could become one of my favorite movies. It probably already is. I need to watch it a second time, though, I think, before I can say that for sure. But, well, it's a classic. You know, Citizen Kane, Sunset Boulevard, Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, The Wizard of Oz. These are movies that stand the test of time. And this certainly does. I will watch this numerous times, I'm sure, between now and whenever I am done watching movies, or this movie. This is a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I would highly suggest you, I don't know if it's on Netflix or, I paid cheap for this. I mean, this was under $10 new at one of the stores I got it. I don't remember anymore, but, and if you want to get the Blu-ray, that's probably 15 or 16 bucks, something like that, if you find it on sale. I highly recommend it. If you've seen Sunset Boulevard, let me know what you think. I say it's a movie with a lot of levels, a lot of layers, some superb acting, and an engrossing plot, and really a great look at not only old Hollywood, but also what was new Hollywood for the 50s. So I'll leave you with that thought, and let me know what you think. I love Sunset Boulevard, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who loves good movies. Take care, guys.